Let's have a look at this lap. So second gear there, we'll come back to that obviously. Heading down into turn 1. Braking is kind of, we can use these lines actually as quite an accurate reference point of trying different braking points for the corner. It feels like when you're in the car, it kind of feels like you're braking right at the end of the chevrons. But yeah, whatever works for you. Down to third gear for turn 1. Do a bit better job of making the apex than I did. Careful not to run wide here, because when you're full throttle and you're on the grass there, it will just drag the car off the track. So then we're up to fourth gear, little lift just to help rotate the car, and then full throttle, and then a big lift to get it through the left-hander here, and then we're setting up for the old hairpin. So down to second. You can take a little bit more apex than that. You can actually go through the dirt with no off track. Put the car back over to the right, full throttle through here, all the way out to the outside, straightening up the braking zone as much as we can here. So that's why we're going all the way out. We don't actually need to in terms of grip, but you want to be all the way out here. And then we're braking through this left-hander, so not too much brake pressure here. And obviously be careful with your steering inputs as well. You kind of keep the car kind of under control. If you start to get too much rotation at the rear, it will make it very difficult to get it to turn right when you want it to. Oops, that's the wrong button. So then down to second. Nice chunk of apex, and then we're going to get on the throttle and try and stay on the track here on the exit. You can use this part, but obviously any further and you're into dirt and grass. Let's be careful, and then I like to drift away from the edge a little bit just for the safety's sake really, and then drift back over onto the curbing for the entry of coppice. Cut the inside. That's important to get a good feel for how much you can cut there, because obviously there's a slowdown. I believe the slowdown is the centre line over the back edge of the curb. So you can see here, that's pretty close. So you want to get a good sense of what you can do consistently without getting a slowdown, because obviously that's not good for your race. And then we're down to third, I think. Second here. Back to second. Get through this one, and then we're looking for this apex. It's over here somewhere. As soon as you can see it, you're obviously trying to hit it, and that's also your cue to get back on the throttle. And then this version, we're doing the GP layout, so we're braking at this sort of, it's the second marker. In my mind it's the first one because we got the curbing, and it's the first one when I start to pay attention to the markers. Down to third. Don't cut too much of the first apex. You can cut both of these, but this one, it's easier to get the slowdown. So you can hit the bollard, but don't go too far across. I would again assume that it's the centre line on the back edge of the curb. And then the same thing through here. This one feels like you're cutting more, but it's the same rule. But it's very important to maximise those two apexes. Then down into the first hairpin, down to first gear. There's two kind of options here. You can go in really hot, miss the first apex, and sort of almost like handbrake turn, you know, using tiny brake pressure and quite a lot of steering lock to just sort of whip the back of the car around and then straighten up the second apex, get a good run. Or you can go, which I do here, just kind of head straight for the apex. You're doing a similar sort of thing, but you go apex, let it go wide, turn it, and then back to the second apex. I would say this is quicker in terms of lap time. The other one is a good option if you're trying to pass somebody. So as you can see, like I'm almost coming to a stop here. And then lots of steering lock, tiny bit of brake, kind of hoping that the rear would come around more than it did. If you do it right, you'd be driving over this curb on the way out of the corner. So that first hairpin was first gear. This second one I like to use second gear. And again, you've kind of got the choice between the head in early and apex. Although this is more of a single apex. That the first hairpin is kind of a double apex. So I like to go into the corner, turn in early, and then just hug the curb. But again, you could go wide and cut back if you're trying to pass somebody or setting up a qualifying lap or something like that. Short run to the line. That's the back of Donington Park.